Welcome to the second video in our series on lawn maintenance. In this video, we're going to look at different types of seed and what might be the most suitable depending on what sort of lawn you want to create. To choose the right seed, we first need to get a better understanding of the different types of seed out there. After all, every seller in the country, in every shop and on every website will tell you that you need the seed that they are selling. But which one do you actually need? We're going to look at 3 desirable species of seed and their most important characteristics. Let's start with the type of grass we use on our tennis courts, Perennial Rye. Ryegrass is generally considered to be the toughest, hard-wearing of the desirable species we see in the UK. It is a tufted grass that tillers or spreads vertically. This means that it does not naturally form a dense sward, so getting a thick, lush lawn takes a bit of work and skill. Compared to the other desirable grasses we're going to be looking at, ryegrasses do require a bit more work. They tend to be hungrier, so need more feeding and more watering through the summer. Their vertical growth pattern also means that they tend to need more mowing than the other grasses we'll be looking at. Historically, coarse rye could not be mown short, which made it unsuitable for a lot of applications. However, the modern dwarf ryegrasses we use today can tolerate mowing as short as 8 to 10 millimeters, making them a good option for sports like tennis, where surface wearing is going to be an issue. This characteristic also makes ryegrasses a great option for high traffic home lawns. The second grass species we're going to look at is fescue. There are around 450 species of grass plants that are referred to as fescue, but only a tiny fraction of these are cultivated as lawn grasses. Fescues are a real all-rounder. They survive well in sun and in shade and can tolerate a variety of soils. They have the ability to survive in highly acidic areas, for example beneath conifer trees where other grasses might struggle. Fescues don't need much in the way of feeding and tend to tolerate drought well compared to other grass species. Unlike ryegrasses, fescues do spread horizontally. They produce short stems under the ground known as rhizomes. However, the growth above the surface will maintain a fine-looking leaf blade. This means that fescues can be used to fill in swards while retaining a high aesthetic value. There are only 2 real drawbacks for fescues. First, the horizontal underground growth means they are, as a rule, relatively shallow rooting. This does mean that they will not handle quite the same levels of wear and tear that the ryegrasses can. Secondly, they normally take 2 to 3 weeks to germinate compared to the 5 to 7 days that a rye can be up in. Growing a fescue lawn takes some patience. Our final species is bentgrass. Bentgrass have a lot of similarities with fescues. They can be relatively low maintenance in that they don't need too much feeding or watering. They are also horizontal growers. However, where fescues retain a finer leaf blade, bentgrasses spread above the ground, forming a thick, dense mat. They are commonly used for applications such as golf greens or bowling greens for this reason. Like fescues, bentgrass is a shallow rooter and takes 2 to 3 weeks to germinate. However, both grasses tolerate very low heights of cut, so if you're after that putting green garden lawn, these are probably the grasses you should be looking at. One final thing to note before we start choosing our seed is that for the 3 types of seed we've looked at, rye, fescue and bentgrass, there There are also a wide variety of subspecies known as cultivars. Each cultivar will be slightly different with its characteristics which will make it better or worse for the different applications. For example, a cultivar that is more shade tolerant is probably a good idea if your garden doesn't get much sun. That being said, we needn't get hung up on understanding the difference between every cultivar. We'll share with you a great tool at the end of this video which will help you when choosing your seed. Looking at your lawn in our last video, we talked about the three different types of lawn: the centerpiece putting green lawn, the high wear lawn and the low maintenance lawn. Understanding what sort of lawn you want is key to choosing the right seed. First, let's look at the centerpiece putting green lawn. You're going to be after a seed that can tolerate being mown quite short and something that will form a dense, even sward. On that basis, you'll be looking for a fescue bentgrass mix, as these two grasses tick all the boxes for creating your dream surface. It is worth noting that mixes with bentgrass in tend to only have a low percentage of bentgrass listed. This is because the bentgrass seeds are tiny, and therefore you only need a small amount of them to grow a lot of that sort of grass. Turning to the second lawn type, the hard wearing lawn, perhaps for the kids to play on or the dogs to run around on. Again, we need to think about what the lawn is going to need to stand up to, and straight away we'd be looking at dwarf perennial ryegrass. It's tough and it withstands a lot of traffic. However, in a domestic lawn, we'd advocate mixing in some fescue. In effect, the ryegrass will make the lawn tough, while the fescue will help densen the sward, making it more attractive. You could go for a 100% rye lawn, like we do with our tennis courts, but maintaining a 100% rye sward and getting it to look good will take a lot of work. This is why we'd encourage people to mix in a bit of fescue at home, and is also why the clubhouse events lawn is a rye fescue mix. The final lawn to look at is the low maintenance lawn. Again, we should first think about what we want from the lawn. For it to be low maintenance, we don't want to be mowing it too often or having to feed or water it much. Straight away then, we'll rule out the hungry ryegrasses, leaving us with bentgrass or fescue. Our recommendation would be 100% fescue mix. This is because it has all the same advantages of bentgrass, but generally it is a less hungry plant, more resistant to turf disease, has good shade tolerance, and really is as close as you're going to get to an all-rounder. Now, as you've heard, we're recommending mixing seed types, and even in mixes of one type of seed, you always want a mix of cultivars. Mixing the seed in this way is good because it allows you to cherry pick the characteristics that are important for your lawn. It should also be noted that the same seeds can be used in different applications. It's the way that we look after them, which we'll discuss further in later videos, that affects how they will perform and how they will form the lawn that you want. The final thing we wanted to share with you today is the tool we mentioned earlier to help you choose your ideal seed. We work with a fantastic supplier, Pitchcare, who actually supply many of the items you'll need to create your lawn. On their website they have an excellent section on seed, which allows you to filter different types of seed by things like areas of use and characteristics. Say we were looking for a golf seed that was drought resistant, we could use the filters at the top and it gives us a list of options. Then we can look at each seed and check the mixes. For example, the LM6 seed is a fescue bent mix, perfect for a centerpiece putting green lawn. There will be a link to the seed section of the Pitchcare site at the end of this video, so you can start looking at what seed might be suitable for your lawn. That's it for this episode. Look out for the next video where we'll guide you on the next steps to creating your dream lawn. Thanks for watching.